Hello dear students, in the previous lecture we have discussed about the watt governor and the detailed constructional features. Along with that we have derived one important term in that watt governor, that is the height of the governor. Today in this lecture we are going to derive also the height of the governor, but by a different method, that is by the resolution of the forces, that is the tension force which was acting on the fly balls to maintain the equilibrium of the fly balls in a watt governor. And previously we have discussed the height of the governor derivation by the method of moment balancing. So now let us start our discussion. This is a watt governor, as you are able to see. So this is the tensile force acting on the arms. Tension force only acts on the arms, but no tension force will act on the links, because the links is connected here to the sleeve, and the sleeve is considered to be the massless one, and the lower links are having no frictional force acting. So there is no frictional force acting on the lower links, and lower links is connected to the sleeve, and the sleeve is massless. Therefore in the lower links there will be no tensile force acting, and in the upper part of the arms, that is called arms, it is subjected to some tensile force, that is tension T. Now suppose this is the angle theta, which is the angle between the arm and the vertical axis of the spindle. If it is theta, this is also theta. So here is the tensile force T, and here the component will be T cos theta, here T sin theta. Similarly, on the other side also T cos theta and T sin theta. So now the weight of the fly ball is W. We have seen previously that these two fly balls are under the action of the three forces, under the action of three forces to maintain its complete equilibrium condition. So the fly balls remain in complete equilibrium under the action of three forces, that is the centrifugal force Fc, weight of the fly ball W, and the tensile force acting on the arms. So here the three forces are mentioned, and we will see here how these forces are balancing each other. So we make the resolution of the forces here. So if it is theta, this is also theta. T cos theta balances the weight of the W in the vertical downward direction, and T cos theta will act on the in the vertical upward direction. So T cos theta is equal to W, that is equal to mg, first equation. And next, T sin theta will balance the centrifugal force which is acting away from the center due to the rotation of the fly ball about the spindle axis, that is in the rightward direction, and T sin theta will in the leftward direction. So T sin theta is equal to Fc, and Fc is nothing but m omega square r. So this is all about the force analysis of the watt governor, and we are finding out the height of the governor by the resolution of the forces. So let us see here the mathematical expression. To T sin theta will balance m omega square r, this will be the first equation, and T cos theta will be mg. So dividing equation 1 by equation 2, we get tan theta is equal to r omega square by g, and we will see now what is the value of tan theta here. Here it is a right angle triangle formation. So tan, this is also theta, so tan theta will be P by B. So P is perpendicular, B is base of this right angle triangle. So P is R, nothing but the radius of rotation R, and B is nothing but, you can see the here, this is the height. So tan theta will be R by H. So just put down the value of R by H here. So R by H is equal to R omega square by G. Now H is equal to G omega square by cancelling R from both the sides. So G is nothing but 9.81 meter per second square divided by 2 pi n by 60 whole square, that is equal to 895 by n square. If we calculate this 60 by 2 pi square into 9.81, it will give you 895. So n square will be 895 by h, where n is the number of revolutions in number of revolutions per minute, that is in RPM, and H will be in meters. So this expression is also similar to that expression what we have previously find out. So the expressions are similar, only the process is different. You can find out the height of the governor by any of these two methods. Yeah, if you are feeling convenient in the previous method, you also can find out, and in this method if you can find out, if you are feeling confident, then you also use this, you also can use this method. So let us solve a problem regarding this. So question number 1, calculate the height of the governor when it rotates at 60 rpm. Also find out the change in the height when its speed increases to 61 rpm. So first write down the given conditions n1 and n2. That is, n1 is 60 rpm and n2 is equal to 61 rpm. Now the initial height h1 is 895 by n1 square. Just put down the formula, and h1 you are finding out 0.248 meter, and final height h2 is equal to 895 by n2 square, that is 0.24 meter. So what is the change in vertical height? The question was what you find out the change in vertical height. So just h1 minus h2, that is equal to 0.008 meter, or if you are asking in 8 mm unit, just put down 8 mm. So units are very much important in the numerical calculation. So put in mind that h will be in meter and n will be in rpm in this formula. So if h was given and n will be asked, then just reverse the condition. h1 and h2 will be in meter and n1 and n2 will be in rpm. If the reverse condition asked, so just n1 square is equal to 895 by h1, n2 square is equal to 895 by h2, and n1 square means n1 is equal to root over of this one. So find out the speed range also by using this formula. So you can have two types of questions basing on that, whether you have to find out the change in height or you have to find out the speed range of the governor when other data was given. So it is a very simplest type of question. You can also practice the same type of problems at your home. So thank you.